PlugSeeker.
Good afternoon, it's the PlugSeeker here again. Welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to look at the rapid chargers which are part of the PodPoint network. And I'm going to drive down to a PodPoint Rapid, which is at a Tesco's in Crawley. And we'll have a little chat about PodPoint charging network on the way. So let's talk a little bit about PodPoint. Well, PodPoint was started in about 2009, I think, and it's a company which is a bit like ChargeMaster, has two roles. It makes electric car chargers and installs them, and at the same time it also produces an electric charging network for which it is a pay-as-you-go network. It doesn't have any subscription fees, unlike the Polar network. So let's start with their manufacturing business. Well, PodPoint make electric chargers both for the home, for personal customers, and I myself have got a PodPoint 7 kilowatt charger on a tethered Type 1 lead in front of my house. But they also provide chargers for a multitude of companies. In particular, I would say I've seen them at Sainsbury's, I've seen them at Gatwick Airport, and also they supplied a lot of the initial chargers for the Southern Rail network down south. For the vast majority of their chargers, in my experience, are usually Type 2 or 3-pin sockets, and to be honest, the majority now are the latter. They're mostly 7 kilowatt chargers, and that goes for both the units supplied to customers and business, as well as to their charging network. However, in the last year or so, they've also started providing rapid chargers, and in particular, it's worth noting that they seem to have a deal with the Lidl supermarket, and they've been providing rapid chargers at some of their stores. And I think, for the most part, these are actually free, but I'll have to check up on that, but I think they're mainly free. And obviously Lidl benefits out of the bargain, because obviously people come to that supermarket. If they can charge there, then they'll bring their custom to that supermarket, which is a sensible idea, and I wish a few more supermarkets would take that on. Now, funnily enough, as it should happen, today I'm going to be going to a Tesco supermarket where they have got one of these PodPoint Rapids. Though I have to be honest, I haven't seen many Tesco's that have got PodPoint Rapids. And if I'm even more honest, I haven't seen many Tesco's that have got chargers full stop. At least not if you compare them to, say, the likes of Sainsbury's or Asda, which have got, a lot of them have got 7 kilowatt chargers. Although still not all of them, it's still only a certain minority of their stores, but at least they have got them. And in some cases they've done it extremely well. I'll give you an example of Sutton Sainsbury's, not far from me. They've done an incredible job. I think they've got in excess of 20 charging posts there, which is excellent, and they're all 7 kilowatt, and I believe they're all free of charge as well. So again, that proves the obvious example that one of the ways that these 7 kilowatt grazing chargers are going to work is that businesses, not just supermarkets, are going to provide them often for free on the PodPoint network, and that will benefit the business. So the business will be taking the cost of having these chargers, and they will make their money back because people are going to spend more than that at their stores or at their businesses. So the PodPoint have been around for a very long time, as I say, since 2009 I believe. So they were one of the first charging companies and networks to be out there, and their chargers have gone through lots of different improvements over the years. Now you might find sometimes some of the old chargers are still knocking around some of the Southern rail stations, and also some of the old Source London posts were also old PodPoint machines. Now these older machines often are not on the PodPoint, are often not on the PodPoint app, and these ones still are often activated by PodPoint RFID cards, or in some cases even old Source London posts are activated by the Source London RFID cards. That being said, the most modern newer versions of the PodPoint, I've tried these out at places like Gatwick Airport and Sainsbury's Sutton, and these ones appear not to work with the RFID card but are only activated by the app. Now those of you who watch my episodes will know that I have a bit of a bugbear about electric charging networks mandating that you have to use an app to activate their charger, because the problem can be that you might not have reception sometimes, or your phone might run out of power or whatever, and then you can be stuck at a charger which to all intensive purposes works but cannot be activated because you can't make a contact between the phone. So I think all of these networks should, even if it's at a small price, make available RFID cards connected to their accounts, so that you've got a backup, you've got a second option if for any reason you just can't work it with the phone. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, so as I say, some of the newer PodPoints can only be activated using the phone app. Okay, well, let's talk about the app. Well, the PodPoint app is pretty easy to use, it's quite straightforward, and you can activate the machines usually with it, hopefully with no problems. It does rely on, obviously, the machine being one of the newer machines, as I say. One of the things I do like about the sort of latest generation of 7 kilowatt PodPoint chargers, they have an inbuilt 15-minute breathing space between plugging in your car and having to activate the charger. So if you roll up to one of these, you plug in your car to the machine, it starts charging, and you then have 15 minutes to activate it with the app. If you don't activate it, I believe it then stops charging. This is quite a nice idea, and actually I would suggest it's something that other networks like Polar might think about emulating. The reason they do this is so that, let's say, I don't know, you park your car and, as I say, maybe you didn't get good reception next to the charger, or it's pelting down with rain and you want to get out of the rain before you activate it. Having that 15-minute, I'm not sure it's 15 or 30 minutes, but having that brief window of opportunity is quite handy. So yeah, so that's PodPoint 7 kilowatt chargers. I would say if you have got a PodPoint RFID card, hold on to it. You never know when you're going to come across an old orphaned Source London or one of the older generation of PodPoint which has yet to be updated. It's worth keeping one of those, and I do have one of those handy. I will try it today, but I am reliably informed that the rapid chargers by PodPoint, I say, do not work on the RFID. They only work on the app, but we'll see. So I'll leave it there for a minute, and I'll continue this when we reach the charger. We're heading towards the rapid charger at Tesco's Crawley, and I'll see you there. Okay, so we've arrived. First I stopped by mistake in the main Tesco's car park. The charger that I was directed to there was, there were two chargers with 2 3 kilowatt type 2 chargers on one post and one 7 kilowatt type 2 on the other post. And I'll put the link to PlugSeeker for those as well. Those appear to be working fine. So now I'm at the PodPoint Rapid, which is just around the corner, near to the Tesco's petrol station. Instead of turning left towards the main car park, you turn right, and it's all on PlugSeeker, and I'll put the link to the rapid charger here. Right, so all that's left now is to give it a test. So I'll test it first using the PodPoint app, because I think that was going to work. And before I go, I'll quickly see if the PodPoint card works, but I don't expect it will do. Right, so let's give it a go. So first, lift up the charging port and open the left-hand charger, which is the CHAdeMO for rapid charging my Nissan Leaf. Okay, now back to the charger. As you can see, the instructions here are nice and clear. So you plug the cable in first, then you go to the PodPoint app, select using the app, confirm charge, and then you press stop to end the charge. So let's do that. So first, I'm going to take the CHAdeMO charger for my Nissan Leaf, which is this one. So here we go. And this goes in like that. Give a good push to click. And that's it, it's in. Okay, right. So now I'm going to select the app, which will be on the left-hand side of the screen. So I find this charger. And there it is, Bill Tara. I click to start. I confirm charging. So I click confirm, and then a moment later there is the normal beep as the charger connected to my car, and up came this screen saying the car is now charging. So this screen shows me the percentage I am charged. Currently 82%, so I'm actually not doing too badly as it happens. It looks like it's telling me it's going to take 37 minutes approximately to charge to 100%. Now in reality most of us wouldn't charge past 85–90%, because after that it just becomes so much slower, it's not really worth it, and you might be blocking the charger for somebody else who needs it a bit more urgently. Underneath that it tells me how long it's been charging, and it tells me also how many kilowatt hours have been added to the battery. So that was actually quite straightforward. So I'm going to leave it a couple of minutes, just I might as well get some charge while I'm here. And as you can see, look at the machine, it tells me that the cost for this is 24p per kilowatt hour. And one small point, you'll notice that this machine is called Biltara. Now, funny little touch you'll find on all the PodPoint modern PodPoint chargers is that they've all been given two names, and this is whether it's a 7 kilowatt or a rapid charger. They've all been given two names which are both 4-letter words. So yeah, why not? It makes it a little bit more personable, doesn't it? And now that it's charging, if you look back at the app, you'll see that the live status now shows the CHAdeMO is charging and the CCS is unavailable. It does look like the Type 2 is still in action, so I wonder if you're able to charge the Type 2 at the same time. Maybe anyone who's a Zoe owner can let me know if they've got any experience in that. Okay, I'm up to 91% now, and that only took me 7 minutes, which is not too bad, considering, as I said before, it's always going to charge slowly if you start at 80%. In the real world, you would usually only start charging at a much lower percentage anyway. So it looks like there are two possible ways of stopping this charge. There is a stop button on the menu, but it does say on the instructions to use the app. So I'll try to use the app first, and if that doesn't work, I'll press the button on the screen. We'll see which one works. So there, I press stop, and it says charging has stopped, and the plug is now unlocked. So I'm going to now take it out. So to remove the CHAdeMO charger from your car, you put your thumb on this button, push it forward and hold it, and then just firmly pull back like that. And that's all there is to it. And as I always say on all these videos, it's very important to make sure that you securely put the fast charger back in its socket. This is to save it from getting wet from rainwater or getting dirty. So, and there we go. Right, that's all done. And it's now back to the beginning startup menu. And as you can see from the app, the charge is now listed on the live status as being available again. So that's it, all done. And last but not least, close the flap on your CHAdeMO and firmly push down and close your charger flap. Right, time to hit the road. that's it, home sweet home. So in summary, that was a successful test of a PodPoint Rapid Charger, and I confirmed that it can only be activated with the mobile app. It can't be activated with one of the old RFID cards. It was really easy to use and it worked just fine, and there was no problem with mobile reception next to the charger, so that wasn't an issue. Cost, it was 24p per kilowatt. I don't know if there was a startup fee, but I don't think there was because there wasn't one mentioned. So that would put it as reasonably priced. I'll give you an idea here what it would theoretically cost if you were to take a completely empty Nissan 30 kilowatt Leaf and take it all the way up to 100%. Now I understand we don't usually do that, but just for comparison's sake, I think that would compare very similar to the current pricing of the Shell Rapid Chargers, to be honest, and I think it would be slightly cheaper than the current Ecotricity, but less than Polar if you're a Polar Plus member and you've used it at least twice already in a month. I've been through the different monthly charges for things like Polar and things in the past, so look back on my old episodes and you can make a fair comparison. So anyway, yeah, so cost wise not too bad. It was relatively easy to use, and it was in a good position. It wasn't right next to the supermarket entrance. It was tucked around the side next to the petrol station, so that's a good place for it to be. It's not likely to be iced by people using the supermarket, so thumbs up. Good location there as well. Yeah, so all in all, very good. I would also mention, as I said before, there were 2 3 kilowatt and 1 7 kilowatt type 2 charger post next to the supermarket as well. Those ones are right next to the main entrance, so they're not ideally placed. I would imagine in busy times they're likely to get iced, although when I was there at 5 o'clock they were all available, so who knows. It was a big car park, so maybe it won't be too bad. So that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please subscribe to my channel and please like the episode in the comments. I would also ask if you could consider sharing on your social media platforms such as Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. It really does help my channel a lot if you do that. So thanks very much for all those who have previously subscribed and shared. It's really, really appreciated. Thanks a lot, guys. So I think we'll call that a day. I'm absolutely Hank Marvin. Oh goodness me, did you hear that? That was a horribly belching roar of an ice engine. Ugh. Anyway, as I said, I'm absolutely Hank Marvin, so I'm going in for my tea. So this is the PlugSeeker signing off. Happy charging.